One people, one planet, one love. One planet, one love. One planet. Good morning and welcome to SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferrero. I'm the founder and spiritual director of SoulCall Global. And wherever you are on the planet, we welcome you this morning. And we'd like to give a special shout out this morning to all of the moms. Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there and anyone who is serving in the life of another as the mother figure. And I almost said into anyone who calls himself mother who's not who's ever been called a mother. That's a whole different thing. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for having us. We're happy to be here playing in this field of cosmic intelligence, being the love that we are, showing up in the various ways. And just to start us off this morning, as always, we open with this prayer of participation, if you will, in a Qigong practice. And knowing that our hearts are all connected, our divine birthright is to participate with consciousness in the various levels of awareness we may find ourselves participating with at different times throughout the experience of our life. And the talk this morning is called The Way of the Wise. And The Way of the Wise - repeat rides welcomed. And you'll see why that was added on as we move into the talk a little bit later. But the way of the wise is to participate in the ways of the wise to get that experience. And so we offer you this opportunity to participate with Helen Yi as she offers this Qigong meditation practice where we are actually physically participating with the energy of the universe that powers our beautiful beings. We're birthed to the planet. So take a moment to get yourself centered, grounded, and in full participation with life, and join in this Qigong practice with Helen Yi.
Allowing the arms to float up to shoulder height. Using our mind's intention to visualize Qi, drawing it in from the Laogung points in the center of our palms, inhaling, grabbing it all into the body, filling it up with vitality and energy. Exhaling, pushing out, reaching beyond the horizons, reaching for that cosmic Qi, drawing it into the Laogung, feeling it in your mind's eye, filling all the cells, coming into the bone marrow and all the systems of the body. Extending again, tapping into that energy that's within all things, drawing it in, feeling it move and circulate as it comes into your byway and your Laogung. And here, extending one more, relaxing the wrists, bringing the arms parallel to the body, and now bending your wrist again at the 90 degrees, opening the Laogungs, drawing that Qi in this direction, feeling it fill up into all the different systems of the body, nourishing the Qi. Extending out, continue to breathe in a slow and relaxing manner while drawing in the Qi, allowing it to come in. Feel the nourishment getting stronger and more full. Extending out and relaxing the wrist. Allow them to relax, coming down. And now raising the hands in front of you, bringing it up above your head, focusing the Laogung onto the byway, crown chakra of the head. Now allowing your eyes and your mind to draw that Qi into the byway. As you do, bring the arms down slowly as you guide the Qi in through the main meridian channel, through the byway, pushing down any stagnation or stagnant chi, filling up with wonderful light, energy, nourishing the eyes, the throat, feeling it come into your heart and your lungs. Feel that magnificent chi, feeling the joy, the pleasing feeling of strong energy and vitality coming down into the stomach, into the other organs, nourishing and revitalizing the energy that's within us.
Thank you, Helen. And just staying in the moment of, we're going to do a reframe for the Mother's Day, and just recognizing that we are on Mother Earth, and we are also all eternally the divine, blessed children of Divine Mother. So as above, so below, as within, so without. As within is the seat of the Divine Mother within. That place where even incarnation after incarnation, we are the same, that sacred center of the soul. And our soul's calling in each lifetime expresses differently, but ours is to pull forth that soul expression from our sacred center, and getting into a deep meditation, following your breath. On the inhale, just chant I am, and exhalation, that I am. And allow yourself to enjoy this song I wrote coming out of a meditation, just talking about the sacred love of Divine Mother, unconditional love of Divine Mother. And I think Erika and I are performing this live at a church in Denver some years ago, but it's called Sacred, recognizing our sacred union with Divine Mother.
So sacred, so secret, so precious is love. So sacred, so secret, so precious is love. So sacred, so sacred, so secret, so secret, so precious, so precious is love. So sacred, so sacred, so secret, so secret, so precious, so precious is love. I will share, 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 I will share this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious is love. So sacred, so secret, so precious is love. I will share, this love, this love. Let the love show. I will share. I will share. I will share. I will share this love, this love, this love.
That rendition is particularly special. It's one of the only times people applauded after it because it was there. We transitioned the energy. It was a unique expression of a song that many of you might be familiar with in taking us deep in meditation and just staying in there. But it's a unique rendition of it. And I chose that one for this morning because we are all unique renditions and expressions of the Divine Mother. And, you know, coming through the infinite intelligence through our parents, right? And then here we are on Mother Earth, from mother to mother, back to mother. And it's that divine love, that state of awareness of divine love that we're here to participate with the whole time. It should be one continuum, right? Love is a continuum. And to be able to endure in an unconditional state of unconditional love can be challenging, right? Maybe just for me. Sometimes it's tough to love unconditionally because our desires get in the way. And so today's talk is the way of the wise. And thinking about the way of the wise and what that means and how we get wisdom. How did the wise get wisdom? There were all these philosophies on the planet, and some are being birthed as new philosophies, but it's all old information. It's all unique information that is unique to itself in that it's truths that are true. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. But in practicing, wisdom is gleaned from experience. So I could tell you, I was listening to a talk last week from Brother Anandamoy from Self-Realization Fellowship. And he made a really interesting analogy about recipe books. You can read a recipe book, much like you're listening to a talk or other talks from other people. You can read a recipe book, but it doesn't give you the satisfaction of tasting the meal, or it doesn't turn off the hunger. It doesn't give you the satisfaction of being full with a meal of the recipe. You have to make it. We've got to participate with the ingredients, put it in a bowl or in the oven or whatever it is we're mixing, making. But unless we make it, we don't know what it tastes like. Yogananda used to also say, one of my favorite analogies is you could describe an orange, the taste of an orange, the consistency, the texture, all of these things about the fruit we call an orange. But until one actually eats the orange, you don't have the wisdom, you don't have the experience to have the wisdom to share with someone else or with yourself in a situation where we're trying to bring forth unconditional love and it's challenging. It's wisdom, the experience of knowing how to find that unconditional love or how to be it in all circumstances takes practice. And it's the experience that gives us this thing. I liken it to, here I go, here we are into May, getting our way into May. And I can remember when I was a little kid, around this time of the year, we would start to get very excited because school was almost over, which also meant that the school picnic was going to happen. where our entire school district would end up at one of the amusement parks. And in our case, it was Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, just to the east of the city. And it was a huge, big deal to go to the amusement park. But when we were younger, my older brother would tell us about what it was like to ride the 3 roller coasters. It was deemed the roller coaster capital of the world, Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh. And they have 3 of the oldest wooden roller coasters on the planet. And one of them was deemed the #1 roller coaster in the world, and that was called the Thunderbolt. And the Thunderbolt was famous for this you would circle around, but then there would be this 90-foot drop, which was one of the longest drops from a wooden roller coaster at the time. That's the one you wanted. You know, the Racer was peaceful. They're like 2 side-by-side roller coasters, and you blah, blah, blah. Then my brother would describe the one called the Jackrabbit. And the Jackrabbit was famous for having this thing called the double dip. The double dip would start like this, and then you would do this and go down the second time. But during the dip part, you would fly up out of your seat. So it was dangerous. And until we were tall enough to ride these rides, we couldn't have the experience of riding them, but we could just share from the stories my brother would tell us. We were catching a story from somebody else, kind of like you're listening to this talk about a roller coaster or about meditation or about anything else I share with you. If you don't try it yourself, you won't have the experience or the wisdom of the thing I'm talking about. Well, my brother would tell me, you've got to hold on really tightly on that Jackrabbit so you don't, because if you don't, the tighter you hold on, the higher you'll fly out of your seat. Now, I think he just told me that to make sure I would hold on. My brother liked me. I liked my brother. So he wanted to make sure I didn't fly out of the roller coaster because I'd be the one with my hands up, not holding on. So that was his way. But the anticipation of Kennywood Park and the school picnic would always be preceded earlier, like weeks ahead of time, by seeing whether we could get out of Kittyland, meaning we were too short to ride the adult rides, the grown-up rides at the amusement park, and we'd be stuck in Kittyland, which to me was so humiliating because nothing really happened in Kittyland. I mean, what do? You just kind of circle around. It looks like you're in a plane, but the planes don't even go up and down. You're just sitting there. I think I have photographs of me just kind of holding the wheel of the plane, just with this look on my face, like, honestly, this is so boring. I was like that in school sometimes too. Like, for real, this is what we're doing now. And so could not wait to get out of, the object was to get out of Kittyland so we could get onto these roller coasters and the other rides. And now I'm thinking of this grand amusement park of rides. There's Kittyland, which is kind of marginalized because, you're little. It keep us safe and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then there's the other amusement park that was where all of the grown-ups got to ride and play and have all this fun. And I think about that now, and I think the world is an amusement park. And I think when I went to the Parliament of the World's Religions and we performed there, one of the times we performed there, this one in Australia, it dawned on me that there were hundreds of religious philosophies. And it was like an amusement park of religious dogma. Not all good, not all bad. It was not that. It was just about, wow, all these variations of amusement, if you will, of consciousness, things to keep our consciousness amused. Which one is the true one? Well, it's the one that helps us find our path to wisdom, unconditional love, so that we could show up as unconditionally loving wherever we are. So I was thinking this amusement park for a little kid was like the Parliament of the World's Religions to me as an adult. There were hundreds to choose from, hundreds of rides to distract us or enhance our experience as a human for a little while, to just find that joy. But the joy is fleeting in the amusement park. You have to keep getting on the ride again, right? Then what is the equivalent of Kittyland in a giant amusement park? I call it the Kittyland of consciousness, or the kidding yourself land of consciousness, if you will. The Kittyland of consciousness is, what the 1 Corinthians talk about. When I was a child, my speech, feelings, and thinking were all those of a child. Just like they think you can't handle capital T truth. So you get these little snippets. You're not ever getting the thing that is going to give you the experience that will lead to true wisdom. You'll get these little snippets that'll keep you, me, entranced by one charismatic individual. You're not getting the God, the goddess, the Godhead, the source itself. You're getting this charismatic person that gives us the juice. And then when that person dies, the whole thing goes along with it. To me, that's the kiddie land consciousness. It's a temporary holding place until we come to the realization by another experience that there's a whole other world of amusement. So then we put that away, and then we get into this other place. So every year it was the great big thing to figure out whether we're going to be tall enough to ride the roller coasters. And sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is you're still too short to really get into here. So it's like, oh, what do I have to do? So you have to eat. You know, my parents would say, you've got to eat, and you've got to, you know, make sure you're eating your vegetables and all these other things you might not want to do so that you can get the opportunity to grow, so that we can get the opportunity. So I think about how we go from kiddie land consciousness to maybe we take a few hard knocks in between. A couple of times we're told no, but with determination and practice of the things that bring us a healthy, sound, vibrant being, perhaps we get the opportunity to study a philosophy that really works because we're in earnest. All year long, I'd wonder how tall I was so that next year I could get on that ride. How many of us stick with a meditation practice or a practice that brings experience that equals wisdom long enough, with enough consistency and persistence to get the payoff, of the realization that we are connected to source at all times. Yogananda would say, seek the father behind the father, mother behind the mother, friend behind the friend, one infinite possibility. So in this amusement park then, the day that we could finally get on the ride, you run up to, you know, and I could still remember this standing, and my sister Sharon and I, this is really bad, we would eat, you know, my mom would make this Cadillac trunk full of food. Some of you have heard me talk about that in another talk. You know, we would get out to the amusement park, we would eat, and then we'd run to the restroom, and we were allowed to run directly to the Thunderbolt to see if we're tall enough this particular year. And I remember one year preceding that, got this idea to, when we go into the bathroom, we're going to get a whole bunch of toilet paper and ball it up and put it in the back of our shoes so that it'll look like we're tall enough to get on the stinking ride. So there's like that in the process of, there are ways we think we're going to cheat the infinite to see whether or not we are in earnest to get the experience of wisdom. Sometimes it takes a lot of practice. So we got caught because my sister had toilet paper sticking up out of the heel of her shoe. So my mom caught us and had to take it out, and we still weren't able to ride. We were still too small. But then the following year we were able to do it. So now we are in the line, and the anticipation of such a thing is incredible, isn't it? Standing in line, and I could still feel like my heart pounding in my chest. Then the first time we were going to ride the Thunderbolt, we had to ride it with one of our parents because they've never seen us in a situation like this. And especially me, I got very excited. Not only did we have to hold on, my mother would lock her hand over mine to make sure my hands stayed on this thing, but you could see the ride. You could hear it crackling all around us as it's the Thunderbolt. It makes noise on the tracks, and that's the whole point. And you could hear people screaming, and I'm getting excited just thinking about how excited I was to get on that ride. But even then, with the screaming and the sound and the watching, and I've never been closer, and inching to the front of the line. And the next train that pulls up is the train I'm going to be on. This was even before I had the notion of you want to be in the front or the back. The back really gets whipped around. You don't want to be in the middle. So anyway, we end up on the ride, and now I'm on the ride and experiencing the bends and the turns and the tunnel part. And now we're at the 90-foot, and I'm thinking everybody's watching, but I'm so completely immersed in this experience. And you come flying down around, and then at the end, you get off, and when you land, you just see a sign that says no repeat rides. I'm like, oh, otherwise we would stay on there. over and over and over again. You could repeat, but you had to get back in the line and do it all over again. I think about the anticipation of that kind of joy and excitement of riding the roller coaster in the amusement park of life, where to put forth that much effort and determination and focus on something that gave me temporary joy, fleeting joy, maybe, until I got back on the ride again. While I was experiencing the ride, there's lots of joy, equals the wisdom. Now I could tell my younger brother I had the wisdom of the experience of this fantastic ride, the Thunderbolt. And I could tell my younger brother now how great it is. I've been to the 90-foot drop and I know what it feels like to come down, and it's amazing. And I'll ride it with you, maybe next year, maybe the year after, but I'll be old enough that I could take you on the ride. I'll ride it with you. So it's these kinds of things I think about, how the amusement park of life can pull us off into various different practices. Some will pay off with wisdom. Some will pay off with the wisdom of an experience that's a painful experience that will bring us to wisdom of another path that might bring us the depth. And I'm sharing this with you because in terms of the amusement park of life and that which is going to bring lasting joy and happiness, the best ride I have ever found is the practice of silent meditation. It gets you out of Kittyland consciousness into the cosmic consciousness of the Thunderbolt and beyond. And the most beautiful part about it is repeat rides are welcomed. You can repeat ride the meditations anytime you want, as often as you want. Over the weekend, I experienced an opportunity to do a 6-hour meditation in which I was able to participate for 4. And it felt like a good start again. So the invitation is tomorrow. We're starting Monday night meditations. And we invite you to join us. Monday night meditation starting at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we're going to be on a rotation. I'll do a bunch of them. I think Reverend Christy and Natalia and maybe Gary Lynn Floyd is going to join us at different times. But the point is to get the experience of cosmic consciousness yourself equals the wisdom of what the great ones know. And the only difference between them and you is that they made the effort. Yogananda would say that a saint is a sinner who never gave up. And they didn't like to use the word sinner. Sinners are just when we miss the mark. People like to name names of, blames and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, if you make the effort, you get the results. Think of anything you've accomplished in your life. If you are a basketball player, doing the 3, 2, 1. If you play any other sport, if you play an instrument, if you're a Qigong master, if you're a martial arts expert, if you're a pottery creator, if you're a painter, singer, anything where you've mastered the art of a thing, you don't just start at the place of wisdom. You take it it's an introduction. It's the opportunity to ride the ride, to have the experience of riding the waves of love and cosmic consciousness on Mother Earth, always connected to the Divine Mother. And it is in the sacred center of your soul. It's the ride that we're never too big or too small to ride. Repeat rides welcomed. And you can enjoy it anytime you want. We can be interiorized all the time. Thought after thought. If we connect each, like on a prayer bead, the bead and then the string and the bead and the string, each thought. We could be in meditation if every thought we think we offer to the God, the Goddess, the Source. Everything we're doing, I am speaking today for you, God. I sing for you, God. Whatever it is we're doing. So listening to talks, it's great to get the inspiration, but what happens next? Getting the inspiration to allow yourself the opportunity, measure up, you're tall enough, and you're strong enough, you're short enough, you're wise enough to seek greater wisdom in the experience of cosmic consciousness yourself. your own connection to Source. And that's the unlimited joyride of your heart, the joyride of your soul, the bliss of your soul is waiting. And so the way of the wise is to seek the experiences that cultivate divine wisdom and divine love. One of my favorite affirmations from Yogananda is, "Thou art wisdom, and thou dost know the cause and end of all things. I am thy child, O infinite God. I want to know life's true mysteries, life's true joyous duties. The wisdom in me shall show all that thou dost know, that thou dost know." With all your heart, all your might, making that connection, taking the pickaxe of your consciousness and chipping away at all of the things that maybe got in the way of this pure connection to Source, which is your divine birthright. So we thank the Divine Mother for birthing us into existence, that we may become the enlightened wisdom keepers to help others create an experience, keep the opportunity alive for the experience of oneness. That is why we're here, for ourselves and for each other. And hold close to the Mother Earth, taking care of our Mother Planet, staying connected, coming through, and taking care of our Mother Planet. So join us in meditation on Monday. In the meantime, enjoy this fantastic song by Farron. It's called "The Cart." Oh my God!
Strap that holds the cart in rain has been let loose by wearing thin, by biting through. The shifting power leads to you, and the cart is on a wheel. I've wept with joy for the things I've done, and I've wept as hard for what I left undone, for what I left undone, for what I couldn't deem mine, for what I thought was yours. And so I drew the line, and the cart is on a wheel. And the wheel is on a hill. I saw someone fall, I saw another one flail, I saw an arm dig deep where there was no rail. Well, there is no rail, and there's no because. Though the body be strong, the spirit is law, and the cart is on a wheel, and the wheel is on a hill, and the hill is shifting sand, and inside wasting. If we are lives and souls to keep, if we are love, I hope we do not sleep. I hope we do not sleep. I hope we stay our ground. Hold fast to the mother as she turns us round. 'Cause the cart is on a wheel, and the wheel is on a hill, and the hill is shifting sand, and inside these logs we stand. Hold fast to the mother. Hold fast. Hold fast to the mother. Hold fast. Hold fast to the mother. Hold fast. Hold fast to the mother. Hold fast.
Hold fast to the mother, hold fast to the handlebar of the thunderbolt. Thanks, Natalia, for finding that. One of the most profound singer-songwriters, Farron is amazing. If we are love, I hope we do not sleep. If we are love, I hope we do not sleep. Yeah. And how about the thunderbolt ride? Everybody get chills? Everybody get thrills? Yeah. So repeat rides welcomed. And so we invite you tomorrow to start a meditation practice with us. There's nothing more powerful than group meditation. And so Mondays at 8 o'clock, you can sign up under the Evolve page at soulcallglobal.org just to get the registration so you can get into the Zoom room. It's free of charge. Donations are welcomed always, but it's more about raising the consciousness on the planet. This is the simple thing we can do, is to give others the opportunity to experience what it's like to stand next to someone who's unconditionally loving, to help flip and raise the consciousness right now, bring more light. We see a lot of fear, lots of people experiencing fear and lack and hate and jealousy and all of those things. And it seems like, what can I do? Change the world, change yourself, change my world, or change myself. And in becoming more light, we increase the light of those around us. And they just might need a little jolt of something, and just standing next to us. May you be the one. May we each be the one. So that's Monday. And then Tuesday, I am thrilled. We're thrilled to offer a backyard medicine with master teacher Faye Birch. There's still time to register for that. A suggested donation on that is $99 for the 4 weeks, or whatever you can afford to contribute. But mostly, again, it's your contribution in your consciousness, creating a different experience with how to participate with medicines right in your own backyard, and growing things that will help sustain these beautiful physical human beings that we live in. So May 11th, 7 p.m. Sign up at soulcallglobal.org/evolve. It's 4 weeks starting this Tuesday. And let's see, May 26th coming up. Please register for our first annual Story Slam, our SoulCall Story Slam. Reverend Christy Hardwick has offered 2 SoulCall, like soul writing workshops. And so we are going to be the beneficiaries of just listening to some of the amazing stories that came forth from the people who participated in that class, and a few others of you who have offered stories at the end of the classes David and I have been teaching. So for an excellent night of inspiration and stories, join us May 26th. But register for the link. It's open to all, and it's free. And let's see what else we have coming up here. Yes, our SoulCall Cinema, May 21st. By popular demand, my octopus teacher is going to be, we're going to have a link in the website next week for May 21st. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the movie. We're all going to watch it together on YouTube. Is that right? Or Zoom, excuse me. And then we'll have a brief discussion right after. It'll be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So the movie itself is about an hour and 15 or 20 minutes. And then we'll open up the room and have a little bit of some social time together. So mark your calendars. It's one of the most beautiful films ever in the month of May, allowing us to participate together in watching the film. So we invite you to like us and please share us and have your friends subscribe to us on YouTube. We've got a goal of 1,000 subscribers. And then our real goal is 10,000, but 1,000 at a time. And also please share our newsletter with friends. If you enjoy the newsletter, and many people believe our newsletter is one of the most comprehensive spiritual newsletters they've seen, people who get lots of them. So you can be proud to share it with others. And it's one way of getting our news and events out there beyond the scope of just us and just keep growing the SoulCall vision of helping one place at a time. We thank you very, very much for your generous donations. Your continuous giving enables us to plan for the events that we have coming up, and Soul Squad is helping to co-create some things coming up for back to school, moving into the end of the year as well. We're going to do a few more food drives. Our last food drives were incredibly successful. We start, I just want you to know that people have been asking, where do we give the food? Who gets it? And we start by those who can come and pick it up at the locations we are in. Then there are always 2 or 3 people who know where the families are who would not be able to get to us, or where the homeless encampments are. And so every morsel of food goes to someone who needs it more than some of us could even imagine. So your contributions help us keep these things going. And so we appreciate that. And if you're in need of prayer, please send a prayer request to prayers@soulcallglobal.org, and know that we are here praying with you and for you. And if you want to get a one-on-one consultation with somebody, put that in the prayer request too. But just know that we are here. We are a conscious global community. And we welcome you to, and we invite you to send anyone who is doing extraordinary things, ordinary things in extraordinary ways in your community. We'd love to give them a SoulCall shout out. Or if you're interested in creating a Soul Squad pod in your area, please reach out to soulsquad@soulcallglobal.org. Join the squad. There's our, aren't we awesome looking? Look at us. All that light. You need some shades. So I'd like to thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to have the SoulCall Rewind at 11 o'clock. If you have to go to soulcallglobal.org, right on the homepage, and click on the link that will get you into the Zoom room where we can have a discussion following the talk this morning. That's at 11 o'clock today. So we thank you once again for joining us. Thank you, Natalia, for the ride on the roller coaster on the Thunderbolt, and for the beautiful video and all that you do. And thank you all for participating with us and sharing us. Share us with your friends. And remember, wherever you are on the planet, you are loved. Peace and blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love.